Hey, you. That's right. I'm talking to you. I have a question for you. Are you happy? I mean, truly happy. Well, if you answered no to that question, or you don't know how to respond to that question, you've come to the right place. We're going to be talking about that today and so much more. Coming up now. Stick around.
It's time to rise, heal, and claim. You're listening to Reclaiming Destiny with Cici Stephen.
Welcome to another edition of Reclaiming Destiny. I am your host, Cici Stephen. Let me start out by reading some heartbreaking statistics for you. According to the World Health Organization, in the United States, 18.5% of adults have depression, with higher rates for women, younger people, and those with less education. The prevalence of depression is highest amongst people aged 18 to 24. 8.3% of U.S. adults had at least one major depressive episode in 2021. The lifetime risk of suicide for people with untreated depression is almost 20%, and more than 1 in 5 U.S. adults live with a mental illness, and over 1 in 5 youth have a seriously debilitating mental illness at some point in their life. What is going on in the world? Why is so many people unhappy? Why are we seeing violence and anger and people harming themselves and people harming others and wars and rumors of wars? And it's a lot. And I know what some of you are going to say, because you've seen the title of today's show. You know what I'm going to be speaking about, happiness. And that's the topic for today's show, happiness, and how it must start now. And some of you may say, Cici, especially after what I just named, we don't have any reason to be happy. And I know I get it. I listed some of the current events that's going on around the world, but there are also personal things that so many people go through on a day-to-day basis. Health issues, relationship issues, financial issues, spiritual issues, that it's a lot. And no wonder so many people are walking around on edge. You know, when I used to go to work, I was known as the supervisor who always smiled, or one of the supervisors who always smiled. Everyone would always say, Cici, you're always smiling. You're always smiling. You're always so happy. Even people I didn't get to speak to on a day-to-day basis, when we finally did speak, they would always say, why are you so happy? What's the secret to your happiness? And I would just always smile and brush it off, because I would be thinking to myself, if only you knew. And I wasn't singing Patti LaBelle, if only you knew. Even though I was smiling through so much pain, I was going through heartbreak and betrayal and loss of loved ones and all kinds of issues, unrequited love, you name it, rejection, you name it, I was going through it. But I still showed up with a smile, because I was determined to not let life's challenges get me down. And there's always something to smile about. There's always something to be grateful about. And that's what we're going to be speaking about today. Turning around and seeing what there is to be grateful for. If I was able to smile through all of the things I was going through, especially between 2014 and 2018, those were some really challenging years. And I had to deal with different personalities, and I had to deal with my family, and I had to deal with friends. And there were times I wanted to just break down. And every time I was almost there would always be either a quote or a book or a podcast or God literally speaking to me, or a friend or something I was watching that would remind me that this too shall pass. That it can always be worse. That was always the mantra that I used to always say to myself. I would always, when I was having a really bad day, I would always say, God, it can always be worse. I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to project gratitude. I'm going to manifest gratitude. I'm going to live gratitude. And it helped me. And then I discovered this quote from Gabrielle Bernstein: the universe is rigged in our favor. And as you are listening to the rest of this podcast, I want you to repeat that affirmation. The universe is rigged in our favor. I want you to say that to yourself right now. The universe, say, Cici, the universe is rigged in my favor. It is. Life happens for us, not to us. So even though there are challenges, even though there are heartbreaks, even though we lose loved ones, even though people we love betray us, even though we have financial issues, even though there's political strife going on. And as I record this, there's an election going on in this country, and it's bringing out the worst in a lot of people. And people I know are scared of the outcome of the election. And I always have to remind them, we will be okay. And I want to remind you of that today. You will be okay no matter what you are going through. There is always a reason to smile. There is always a reason to be happy. There is always a reason to feel joy. Okay, you are joy. You come from joy. You come from love. You are love. So all it takes is to remember who you are. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your energy. And if you want to change your energy, you have to heal your mind. Because once you heal your mind, then you'll change your mind about your life, about that thing that has you feeling defeated. You are not defeated, nor will you ever be defeated, because there is someone who loves you. There is someone right now, and even if you don't have anyone, I'm saying now, I love you. Even though I don't know who you are, I don't have to know who you are. If you're under the sound of my voice, if you haven't heard it today, I love you, and it will get better. It will. Trust me, I am a walking, living testimony of how the universe is rigged in our favor and how life's challenges are only temporary if you allow them to be temporary. And I know some people are going to go, Cici, there's not always temporary. Some people have not survived their challenges, and you're right. Because we all have different destinies. We all have different paths that we must walk. And even then, no matter the end result, God is still in the midst. And you have to let go of your expectation and the way you see things. Again, I will repeat, if you want to change your life, start by changing your energy. And if you want to change your energy, you have to heal your mind. Therapy is a must. We have so many people who are walking around, you heard those statistics, that have never been to a therapist, especially in certain communities, certain ethnicities, certain groups of people, because they're mine. They have limited beliefs. You can't do it alone because our pain needs a witness. Even if you don't want to go to therapy, there are all kinds of tools, there are all kinds of resources that can help you out now. Okay, it's all about our vibration. It's all about our frequency. It's the law of attraction. And the more you feel bad, the more you feel unhappy, the more you feel depressed, the more you will attract things to you that makes you feel that way. And on the reverse, the more you find reasons to smile, the more you find reasons to be happy, the more the universe will send you reasons to smile and reasons to be happy. We manifest from the inside out, not the outside in. Life does not happen to us externally. And this is what a lot of people don't seem to get or don't know at this point in their life. Just learning that one tip changed so much for me. And we are capable. I'm telling you, the human mind, and speaking of the human mind, it is scientifically proven that we can teach ourselves, we can rewire our brains. Remember what I said about changing your mind? But first you have to heal your mind. They teach that we can rewire our brains to learn a new habit. You can, but what they don't teach first is that you have to heal. The reason why that tip doesn't work for a lot of people is because they haven't healed their minds yet. You have to heal the mind, and then you can change it, and then you can rewire it. And so I challenge you, those of you that are listening, if this resonates with you, the tool that they recommend is to write down 3 things that you are grateful for. I want to challenge you to find 5 things that you are grateful for and write them down on a sheet of paper for 21 days and repeat them. While you are repeating, the universe is rigged in my favor. And I assure you, you will begin to feel better. You will begin to see results. And if you don't want to do that, I recommend start being of service. If life has you down, if you received some bad news, if there are some unfortunate things that you've experienced or those that you love experience, or if you just turn on the news and you're feeling down or you're feeling sad or you're feeling scared, go do something nice for a stranger or someone you love. Dedicate your life to service. And I guarantee you, your issues won't seem so big. Because there's a lot of people that are living selfish lives. You have to live a self-full life versus a selfish life. It's all about humility, right? God teaches us that pride cometh before the fall. And the reason why a lot of people are unhappy is because they built their world around themselves or around their immediate circle. We are not meant to come here and just live a life of, I care about you, I love you, you're my family, you're my friend, I'm going to box everyone out. We are here to be of service to one another. Love thy neighbor. Because the love you receive is instrumental and it is indicative of the love you give. It's the spiritual law of giving and receiving, which is another tool that a lot of people either don't believe or they take for granted or they hear it. They hear it in so many messages. They may hear it in church. They may hear it on their favorite television show. They may hear a family member say it. They may hear a romantic partner say it in a variety of ways. That particular message is sent to us in a variety of ways, but it goes over so many people's head, or a lot of people don't want to face that because, again, it goes back to the selfishness. It goes back to, which we'll be talking about in a future episode, transactional versus reciprocal relationships. A lot of people have built relationships, even with themselves, as transactional. It is fleeting and it is empty and it is void of love. We are here to love, and the reason why you see all of these horrible things happening is because this is a reminder that love needs to be brought back here. It needs to be a priority. But it first must be a priority in our lives. So you can't go loving other people if you don't first love yourself. And you have to learn how to truly love yourself. And then when you truly manifest self-love, other people will mirror that back to you while you are also inspiring them or showing them how they can love themselves. Hence the law of giving and receiving. What is it that has you troubled? What is it that you are going through? Because a lot of people are going to hear this and they're going to agree with it in the moment, and then tomorrow when someone cuts you off in traffic, or tomorrow when you get that call from the bill collector, or the next day when you're having trouble with a customer at work, or when something doesn't go your way, or you're faced with rejection, or you're faced with fear, everything that you have agreed to me saying will go out the window. I know how it goes. I've been there. And that's okay. It's not about how many times we fall down. It's about how many times we get back up. As I told you in the very first episode of this podcast, if you are here, if you are hearing this, you are not here by accident. You are here on divine order of the universe, and you are hearing this message, one, because you already know this message. This is just a reminder of what you already know. It's unlocking what you already have inside. There is no reason to not feel joy, even in your darkest moments. That is when the light is needed. That is when you shine the light. That is when the light is its brightest. Things will get better. No matter what you are going through, God can get you through it. You are strong enough to get through it. You are courageous enough. There's a lot of negativity out there, even in our own families. We are not born as pessimistic beings. We come from love. We are love. So the fact that so many people have forgotten how to love, the fact that so many people refuse to give love, the fact that so many people refuse to radiate happiness is because it is a learned behavior, and it is learned from the people that we loved and trusted the most. Somewhere along the line, someone hurt you. Someone disappointed you when you were at your youngest and your most vulnerable. And you knew this, that you got your heart broken. You were disappointed. You were rejected. Something didn't go your way. There was some type of news, some type of experience that you just feel you couldn't get over. But I am here to tell you, you are hearing this message today as confirmation to let you know you have gotten through it. You're already on the other side. You just don't know it yet. If I, through all of my trials and tribulations, all of my ups and downs, can get up here on this podcast and share this message with you, then you can do it too. You are made for this. We are made for this. God made us in his image. And God is not a depressive person. Yes, he is sad at some of the states of the world. Yes, he may be sad at some of his children gone astray. But when it comes to loving us, when it comes to showing up for us, he doesn't let those things get him down. He doesn't let those things fill him with depression. He's there when we need him. And you can be there for yourself as well. And there are other people there that can be there for you. During my darkest moments, I was sent some really great resources in the form of coworkers, in the form of friends, in the form of my therapist, in the form of my mother and my sister, in the form of just advice, in the form of experiences, in the forms of blessings, in the form of things just mysteriously going my way. I would find feathers, coins, there would be butterflies that would follow me home, land on my shoulder. These are reminders of the universe that yes, it is rigged in your favor, but most importantly, that you are loved. You are loved. Happiness is our birthright. Remember, the whole point of this podcast is to remind people to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. And that is the journey that we're going to be going on this show. And happiness is one of those things that is rightfully yours. It is your birthright, and it is there for you to claim. You were not sent here to be sad, to be depressed, to be hurt, to be abandoned. You were sent here to love and receive love and to fulfill your purpose. And I will leave you with that, as well as I will share a quote by one of my favorite actors, Michael J. Fox. And those of you who know him from Back to the Future, from Family Ties, if you know his story, and if you don't know his story, take the time to read his story. And as you hear this quote, you'll understand why I decided to end the podcast on this note. When I discovered it, I wrote it down for this message. When I knew I was doing this podcast, ran across this quote, I knew that I would share it on one of the episodes, and this was a perfect fit. And it goes, if you find something to be grateful for, you will find something to look forward to. I will repeat that. If you find something to be grateful for, you will find something to look forward to. Before we discover our happiness, I again challenge you to manifest humility. How humble are you? Manifest gratitude. How grateful are you? Which goes back to the humility. Once you humble yourself, then you will instantly feel gratitude, because you will know no matter what you're going through, as long as you are still breathing, as long as you have breath in your body, that things can get better, but that things can always be worse. So humility breeds gratitude, and gratitude breeds happiness. To prove to you that happiness is our birthright and that we are meant to be in a high vibration, in a vibration of joy, there are hormones that our body naturally produces that is directly attributed to happiness, and that is endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. And I want you to research, in addition to the 5 things to be grateful for, writing them down, 21 days, I want you to then research those 4 hormones. Again, endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. And then you'll see for yourself. And then pray about it. For those of you who pray and believe in prayer, ask God to reveal to you, ask Him to show you how happiness is our natural state, how it is our birthright. Tell Him to bring you resources on how our body is designed to get us back into a state of joy and happiness, and what happens when we feel those lower energies, those lower emotions that are not our natural state. And then make a commitment. Make a commitment to sit in the energy of happiness for at least 1 hour a day, no matter what you are experiencing. And I know there are some tough things. I know there are people going through some really heavy things. And I still ask you to find an hour a day. So we're already going to start dedicating an hour a day to our purpose. Next, we're going to dedicate an hour a day to sitting in the emotion of happiness or gratitude or humility. We're going to write down 5 things that we're grateful for. We're going to repeat the affirmation, the universe is rigged in our favor, and then we're going to start finding ways to be of service. If you implement these things on a daily basis, I assure you, change will come, because it is your destiny. Thank you so much for joining me. And again, if no one has told you today, I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Take care and be blessed. Till next time. If you or someone you know have considered suicide or self-harm, please reach out for help by calling or texting 988 to the Suicide and Crisis Hotline.
Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe, share, and review, and keep listening to Reclaiming Destiny.